Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today, where if my voice sounds more tired than usual, it's because I have just recorded a 2-hour episode. And you might be like, 2-hour episode? What on earth were you playing for 2 hours? And I wasn't playing anything. I was doing the fantastic thing of what I was talking about in yesterday's episode of translating the language of Tunic. I forgot what I was going to say. Stretch. That's what I was going to say. I was just going to stretch. Yeah, so I don't remember what I was going to say anymore. Whatever. Hello, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 1:24 p.m. on Sunday, October 1st, 2023. So happy October. Oh, Raymond's birthday. Let's go celebrate that too. But yeah, I talked about it in yesterday's episode after discoveries I made in yesterday's episode. I also recorded some Tunic later that day, made more discoveries, and I was like, okay, this morning I feel like I could translate the language of Tunic. It was a very tiring ordeal. It took about, the episode itself took about 2 hours. It took over a span of maybe about 2.5 hours because I took some breaks in the middle. But yeah, it was actually not that bad. It was just, doing anything like that is tiring, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, so I mean, you'll see it eventually. You'll see it at the end of the Tunic series. I'll upload it as a final episode, like a post-mortem epilogue episode, because I think that's the most appropriate time for it. But it really was. It was easier and harder than Fez. It was a lot easier to get started with Tunics, mainly because I figured out in a previous, like off camera and previous episode, what good assumptions were for the underlying language. Yeah, and then I forgot what I was going to say afterwards, and immediately just like got lost. Yeah, but then it got hard. It's a more complicated language structure. Well, not that much more complicated. I'm going to be honest. It's still easy enough to figure out, but it's harder to. But the language itself is harder to work with, I would say. I'm not going to spoil anything, but yeah, you'll see that. I'm going to guess it will be up in like... Because I'm getting to the end of Tunic. I don't know how many more episodes are left. My guess is maybe about 3 episodes might be left. I don't know how much other post stuff there is, but we'll see. So that will be something you'll see maybe in about 2 weeks or something. And oh my god, I'm like so dead after doing that. Which is why we're here to take it easy, I suppose, in Animal Crossing. We're here just to, relax, chill out on what you're waiting for. We're not going to talk about Tunic forever, obviously. It's a different game. But what can we talk about? It's the start of October. Me and my friend, when we might be doing one of the art challenges. I can't remember what one we chosen is. It's the one where you have 6 prompts or 5 prompts. I can't remember over the holiday. And I have just had a realization. I did not actually check them because I was talking about them a bit before. They were just like, "Hey, do you want to do some drawing today?" I'm like, "Sorry, I'm playing some Baldur's Gate today, but might have some time. We'll see you later this evening." But they might even watch this episode. I don't even know, but we'll see. Yeah, I have just realised I don't see. My assumption was that we'd both do the challenge, but we'd draw our own images. But now I just realised I might have misunderstood, and that they might want to collaborate, which is why they want to sync up a drawing session. So that's fine. I'll talk to them after that, and I'll make sure to get that sorted. Yeah, what should we talk about today? I don't really know. I don't really want to talk about holiday stuff because that. Oh, I don't have anything against it. I just can't be able to get the photo album open. We're just going to talk about... but it's even harder to think of a random conversation off the top of your head. All right. Let's open up a photo album. Let's have an easy conversation today. What did we talk about last time? So we had the winery. It was whatever came out of a winery. This is actually what I was going to talk about yesterday, and it's good because it's actually an easy, smaller conversation. But once we came back to our residence after the winery, mostly we relaxed for a while, and then we went out to go on the cable car because there's a cable car in Dubrovnik and the old town. It goes over the old town. We saw it a few times actually while driving through to it. We also passed like other things. I forgot about we did that this day as well. I'll talk about that later, but in a future episode. But yeah, there's a nice little cable car. Not little, it's quite big or whatever. It's one of the many things we pass, along with a bungee jumping station or whatever, and a zip line. But yes, we went to try and catch a sunset, I suppose, by riding up a cable car and going to the top. There was a little bit. I can't remember what happened, but we were split into 3 different groups. One group managed to get to the top before the sunset. The other 2 groups, myself included, got a little bit after the sunset, which, it's a shame. But I saw a sunset, I suppose, earlier that holiday as well. When we saw most of a sunset, most of the remnants of a sunset. We still saw the red sky, I suppose, at night, etc., etc. And sunsets, of course, are very pretty, beautiful things. You might say they happen literally every single day. Are they really all that special? And to a certain degree, I guess not. If the way you define something special is it happens multiple times, but you see your friends and family multiple times, throughout your life, probably multiple times a day sometimes, and that's not special. It doesn't necessarily mean that if you do it every single time, every single one is special, but just because it's, I suppose, common doesn't mean it has a reduced meaning because of it, And to me, I feel like sunsets are really pretty. So no matter how many times you see them, they're the sort of thing every time I see them and I'm in the opportunity to do so, I'll sit down, I'll watch a sunset as it fades into night. And, just sort of, it's a perfect time to sort of like have sentimental reflection on life, to, think pensively about things, etc., etc. Reflect about who you are, where you're going, and be appreciative of the things you have. And that's basically what we did. We went to the top of this like cliffside area, sat down, and I think I just had like sentimental thoughts and memories and feelings where I just sort of, sat there. It was like, it's nice that I'm on this holiday with all my friends and that sort of thing, thinking about these moments we have. I'm just like, maybe in a more depressing sense, it's not going to last forever, and I'm not going to, these things don't happen forever. Eventually, while friendships come, friendships go as well. Hopefully not equally in the same amount, but people get busy. I mean, even nowadays, people are busy, aren't they? Things take up people's lives. People grow older. Big shifts happen in people's lives. Maybe they move countries, start a family, etc., etc. It's not always easy to have these moments. So I think when you get the chance to appreciate times like this is when you should, to be honest. Not everyone's always a sentimental person, which is fair enough. You don't have to appreciate them in that sense, but. There was this one moment, this is me sitting down with like 2 of my friends from high school. I've been friends for a really long time now. Like one of my friends I've been friends with literally from the start of secondary school. So over half my life I've known him, which is crazy. So 14 years. That's so crazy. And I was just thinking, I'm like reliving a moment, being like, wow, time is like past in an instance. We've got some pictures of us two just sitting down here, which is really nice. And sunsets I like have a perfect time, I guess, because it's sort of symbolically the end of a day. It's the end of it's a perfect time to reflect back on your day, but also a day as a metaphor for life. Not saying that you have that's a final sunset of your life, but still it's a sort of thing where it's like these moments, these quiet moments are just important as the big moments. Like in a quote that I will quote of myself, which I will continue to repeat, is that life is captured in the memories of the minutiae as well as the grand. Basically saying the small moments and the big moments all sum together to make up what your life experiences, I suppose, and sometimes either one could be as important as the other. And of course Dubrovnik looked very beautiful at night time, with like when all the lights of a city shining, and then like the sunset, the orange like sunset melting away into the blue sun as it slowly turns to night. A gentle breeze. It was still reasonably warm, which is certainly a rarity, I would think, compared to here in the UK. If you went out at the sunset, it would be freezing cold. It would probably be like probably around 0 degrees, I'd guess, but I don't know. Depending on the season, you might get lucky and up to like 10 degrees or something. But yeah, I don't know, just like looking at these moments of just me and my friends, I suppose, just sitting down watching sunset. It's sweet, isn't it? It's sort of like you can picture it like in a TV show or an anime. It's like the end of the season 1 arc. I don't think I'm on season 1 anymore of my own life, but still. If my life was a TV series, I assume it would have started. Well, okay, I mean, it would have started when I was born, but who's watching like our primary school years? Probably I can see it being like, secondary school life, that was like seasons 1 through like 4 or something, and this is like the start of my adult life is seasons 5 onwards. Maybe this was like the end of season like 7 or something, like the season finale. Well, I don't know, because we still had the rest of our holiday, I suppose, afterwards, but you know, if it was a TV series, I would have put this day at the end. Well, not this day. I would put this part of the day at the end, the final sunset before we leave for the holidays, and there would be like an epilogue being as a final episode. This would be like the climax episode, I suppose, where everything, you know, comes to sort of like neatly tie up, and a bundle where you have like a reflection of where all the characters be like, this is how far we come, you know, how we've grown, the character arcs. They're all like starting to wrap up for this season. I forgot to get you a present. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Let me go get you a prezi, Raymond. Gotta do so quickly because I'm pretty sure it's very possible that if we come back, it just it seems a bit BM to take the pairs immediately outside your house. But if you don't know, Animal Crossing pro tip for you, one of the best gifts you can give is a fruit not native to your island, wrapped up in gift wrap. And for whatever reason, that is like one of the highest gifts, certainly one of the easiest. But yeah, I don't know, the sentimental sunset moments. These twilight moments, I suppose, of a day are always full of sentimentality because of its liminal nature, I would guess. You know, it's moments, it's like a time between times. You know, you're active during the day, you're asleep during the night, depending on your sleep cycle. It's these times between, I suppose, which is a transitional period from one part of a day into the other. You know, which you doesn't last very long, but you get the time to sort of sit back and relax and reflect. No? I don't really remember exactly the things I was thinking about, I suppose, on that sunset, but you know, I can feel the emotions about sentimentality, appreciation, etc. So, you know, I ask you now, you know, imagine you have your own sentimental sunset in front of you. You know, what are you thinking about? What are you thankful for? How much have you grown as a person? Because you probably have quite a lot, you know. So sometimes it's not easy to see growth until you like sit down and reflect and be like, yeah, this is it. Like, however many years ago I was like XYZ, and now I'm like this, I've grown as a person. But you know, also you think about the future being like, oh, look how much more I have to grow. Like life is the longest thing you do, you know. There's tons of things that can happen in it, good and bad, and I suppose the sum of all those pieces together make up your life experiences in the end. And you know, maybe on a different moment I would sit there and be like, yeah, I would trade all these bad moments over good moments, but sometimes I would also sit there and be like, I take the good with the bad, because you don't really have another option. You know, you take what you have and you make the most of it, I suppose, in your own right. With whatever you can do. And you know, there'll be up, there'll be downs, there'll be setbacks, but there'll be those shining moments which you hold on to so dearly. You know, those are the moments you don't want to forget, right? Because when you look back on your life, at least when I look back on mine, I don't look back on my life and filled with all those regretful moments, or filled with all those terrible things. Like, I think about mistakes, of course, and I still learn from them. But the things that, you know, I like to reflect back on are those warm, fuzzy moments, you know, where you're just like, oh, you know, nice, happy feelings, happy moments, things where, you know, they really feel like the epitome of like, yeah, this is living. Of course, interspersed between them are all these sad moments as well. I'm certainly sure about it. And they cross my mind too. But, you know, I don't know, like, I picture myself as elderly grandma, you know, on my deathbed or whatever. And when I reflect back on my life, are those the moments I'm going to let define my own reflection, you know? I don't think so. I think the moments I define will be, you know, those times I spent with friends, you know, times I spent with family, those wild adventures I did, you know, chasing my dreams. The heartbreaks and the heartaches, I suppose, you know, do go into them at the same time, but they aren't the defining moments. The defining moments is all of it. the absolute sort of menagerie of wild experiences and memories which go into it. So yeah, anyway, sunsets, sentimental. Very, very nice sentimental moments, you know. I keep saying like anime moment, which is like a misrepresentative way to use the phrase, but I mean it as like a cliche tropey thing. But you know, the cliche has a heart somewhere. You know, it's a cliche tropey to have these sentimental sunset things full of memories, you know, to wrap up in the end of something. But I mean, it's wrapped up in truth because that is, you know, the end of stuff sometimes. It's not like, you know, you time your chapters in your life, I suppose, by watching a sunset. I don't mean it like that, but you sort of like define the end of your chapter, I suppose, when you reach those moments yourself. Or you can do. Plus the end of a chapter can be, you know, like 500 pages, who knows. It's just, I don't know, it was just a nice moment. I think it was a nice soft moment, I suppose, within the holiday. a very busy holiday full of action and adventures. You know, just having a moment to sit back, slow down, you know, and just appreciate, I suppose, nature in its own beauty, and, you know, just hang out with your friends. Would recommend having these sort of moments. Of course, not everyone probably cares about that sort of stuff, but still. Yeah, just a lot of pictures of sunsets, and, you know, my favourite part is people in front of the sunsets. As I often say, the photos I look at are not of the photos of the scenery or things like that. I look at the photos of the people, or, you know, those are ones which stick in my mind. And afterwards, we had a very nice meal at it was like a fancier restaurant, but not like a super fancy restaurant. It's like a medium scale restaurant, I suppose. And I remember I had like oh yeah, we saw the hill from down there. It was a really nice, like, atmospheric restaurant as well. There was like fairy lights of different colours. We were sitting outside, like, on a terrace underneath some trees. So my friends got some very interesting looking cocktails. I got like a lobster pasta, I believe, which was like super delish. Who was sitting on that table? On the other table, I don't know. We had to split into 2 tables because there was 10 of us, and, you know, we didn't have a table of 10. Fair enough. We had 6 and 4. I don't even remember. Oh, yeah, I remember who's on the table now. Yeah, there was like nice ambient music playing in the background. We were just relaxing, you know, chatting, have a good time, reflecting on the day. And I don't know, but those moments are, they're the small moments which I hold dear, unsurprisingly. And it genuinely was a fun holiday. And it's something I'm very, you know, happy to look back on. And certainly something which I'm sure when I'm much older will look back on fondly as well, you know? Life is what you make of it. And it's in those moments I can think and be like, you know, am I making the most of it? And I think at this point in my life I can be like, yeah, you know, obviously, you know, there's always something you could do more, but there's always literally something you could do more, which is, you're not really the way I suppose to judge your life. I mean, it can be the way you want to judge your life. If you do, more power to you. But I think the important lesson is, you know, I'm doing my best. You're doing your best as well, probably. And you might be like, no, I'm not. But, you know, maybe you don't have a good sense of what your best might actually be. Life's hard, you know. It's not easy. And it doesn't really get that much easier. But it gets more bearable, I suppose. To a certain degree. There's a lot more joy to be found within it at the same time. I don't know why I'm going so sentimental. It's not even a sunset here anymore. And really my voice is quite, like, tired. But yeah, I don't know. Sentimental sunset. That was a defining thing. Let's go sell our flowers and then we'll round off this episode, I think. It was a very sentimental sunset and I enjoyed it. Hopefully my friends did it too. I don't know. Not everyone is super sentimental. Which is fair enough. You know, I'm very much someone who's moved by, like, the goggles of nostalgia, I suppose. And these sentimental fleeting memories are things I reflect on. And not to say my friends aren't, like, emotional to a certain degree. My friends aren't robots or something, but, you know, everyone's interaction, I suppose, of life is, oh, that's not Sel Vivian's photo, is different, you know. There's no right or wrong way to experience moments in life. It is what it just is. And sunsets are, just to me, a nice reflection of it. Which is basically just kind of what I wanted to say. It was like, yeah, it's cool to have these reflection moments. But anyway, I think I'm going to round this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares greatly appreciated. Social and Discord down below. Hope we can see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now. Weird timing, whatever.